Today on Beyond, lights, camera, ghost.
We recorded a sort of teapot-looking light. It looked like an object with three little cotton balls in it, and it actually traveled throughout the frame, and it disappeared for a frame, actually blinked out for a frame, and one object actually entered her head.
Are these really ghosts caught on tape? You have to see it to believe it. Using his extraordinary psychic ability to communicate with spirits, he's transformed lives by unlocking mysteries and sharing secrets from the other side. James Van Praagh, best-selling author, renowned medium, and your connection to the world beyond. It could be any ordinary house until you get inside.
People unknowingly go to the Whaley House thinking they're just going to go there to take pictures of the woodwork and the antiques. They come back with ghosts on camera.
Is this really a ghost? Find out next on Beyond.
Take a look at this video. It looks like a leaky roof or a broken pipe, right? But it's not. I'm told it's actual blood. Joining us to explain this is the director of the documentary, California's Most Haunted. Everyone, please welcome Barry Conrad to the show.
Nice to meet you.
Now, let's get this straight. Barry, the stories in this documentary are actually true. They're real hauntings, real paranormal activity.
Yeah, they're real hauntings. I've always thought California is such a fantastic state. And I always thought, what kind of hauntings would be here that we could document in a 1-hour show?
How did you get involved, like, initially in this sort of business? Because this is something you really just go right into.
Yeah, actually, James, it really started when I was 10 years old. I grew up in Hamilton, Ohio, a little town back in the Midwest. And my mother received a call one day from her girlfriend. She said that she had just bought a house in the country, an old farmhouse. And she said that things were happening. Objects were moving around.
Pretty strange.
They would smell
For you. I love it. Give me more. Give me more.
They would smell smoke, but there was no source for the smoke. So they did some research and found out 100 years before that, there used to be another house, farmhouse. It had burned to the ground, and a boy died in that very room.
Well, I bet you have tons of stories, but this first one we're going to see, you actually documented it yourself.
Yeah, basically, in 1989, there was a young woman, single mom. Her name was Jackie Hernandez. She was living in this little bungalow in San Pedro, California, and she said that strange things started happening there. There was apparitions of an old man, almost corpse-like looking, that appeared in the children's bedroom. She also said she saw a disembodied head in the attic, enough to give anybody creeps. So we decided to go down and check it out, and we saw a lot of strange things there.
Yeah, like, for example, was that actual blood we just saw?
Actually, it was taken to a lab by Dr. Taff. He used to be a parapsychologist. It worked with the UCLA parapsychology lab, I should say.
Let's see that blood one more time. Let's get a nice close-up on it.
The first night we were at Jackie told us about some viscous liquid dripping and moving from various parts of the house. Well, we took so many, I guess, liquid ooze, for lack of a term, back to a lab to have it analyzed. Upon analysis, it was determined that this was human blood plasma with a high copper and iodine content. It was male blood.
Now, did you ever experience anything like this before?
I've never, ever experienced anything like this before, but you know, this blood plasma oozing from the walls, as far as I can remember, was supposedly documented, I don't know about documented, but it was reported at least, in the Amityville case, which some people say was a hoax and other people say was real.
Right, I've heard both those arguments.
So I really don't know what to say.
For the movie The Amityville Horror, this is something that...
It depicted blood plasma, or not blood plasma, blood.
Yeah. From there.
Wow.
Right.
So what other strange phenomenon happened in this house?
Well, I think one of the best pieces of evidence that we gathered during the San Pedro haunting was the evidence of orbs of light. And not only do we get these on still pictures that Jackie Hernandez, the lady who was the victim of the haunting, took, but we got them in real-time video. And we also got them going into this woman's head.
Okay.
Take a look at this.
Wow.
Take a look at this. Where do you see this?
Okay.
We recorded a sort of teapot-looking light. It looked like an object with three little cotton balls in it, and it actually traveled throughout the frame, and it disappeared for a frame, actually blinked out for a frame, and one object actually entered her head.
Barry didn't show me this film footage right away. It took him a while before I finally got to see it. It was a very weird feeling, you know, when I saw that film, and it still is every time I look at it.
Now, that looked to me like sort of pin lights or maybe some fireflies,
Right.
bugs, maybe a problem with your camera.
Right. Well, actually, I know when I first saw these objects, I was at a loss to explain what they were. But being a cameraman, I knew there was something very strange going on here. Because for one thing, whenever this phenomenon was taking place, or wherever it was taking place, these objects kept popping up. The other thing is that these orbs of light would show up on camera, even if we had a bright light.
So you're saying those are spirits? You're saying these orbs of the lights are spirits?
I don't know.
What are you saying they are?
No, I don't know. I'd like James to talk about that.
I would ask you, is the girl that you're working with there, is she very psychic or very intuitive? Because usually we'll see this activity when a person is that way.
She seems to be very intuitive, James. She always had this, you know, like a knowledge of when it was around. And sure enough, things would happen.
Now, did anybody analyze this?
Yes, actually, Dr. James Robin, who's a physicist with Rockwell International, took a look at this footage. And we could not explain any of it, neither could the lab. And also, I might mention that these objects are very smooth in their trajectories. They fly faster than any insect I've ever seen.
You know, Barry, also, I want to tell you this, and Lisa, also, many people have experiences where they have lights on their sides over here, the peripheral vision, and they'll see lights, and we call those spirit lights. It's very much the same thing. And I guess it's spirit's way of coming through in many ways.
Okay, Barry, let's get to the last image because we're running out of time. I saw this last one. I don't know if you saw this. It's a surprise for you, but it's very strange.
I've heard of the Whaley House.
Very weird.
Well,
Can you tell us about this last one?
I think a lot of people have heard of this place. This is the Whaley House. It's in San Diego, California. It's in Old Town, and actually the public can actually go to this house and visit. What the public may not know is that this house may be one of the most haunted houses in the West.
Look at that.
Well, that's actually, this is a face. It was caught in the headboard by a photographer who was a tourist. Actually, it was not really a professional photographer, but a lady who was there with her camera. And what I might mention here is that not only this picture, but there are literally hundreds and hundreds of photographs that people unknowingly go to the Whaley House thinking they're just going to go there to take pictures of the woodwork and the antiques. And they come back with ghosts on camera. Orbs, faces like this. By the way, this face, by the way, a lot of people have compared it to the face of Anna Whaley. Anna Whaley, of course, was...
Has it been tested by scientists?
This photograph, particular one, has not been tested to my knowledge, because it was given us by the Whaley House. Whether they had tested or not, I do not know.
Well, I'm going to go there for my next field shoot. I know where I'm going, the Whaley House. Let's see what we can find.
No, we're not.
Yeah, but that's not.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you. You're welcome.
If you'd like to purchase a copy of California's Most Haunted, go to www.barcon.com, and we'll be right back.